How we doing, guys and girls? Manthis here and welcome back to another video. So, we're a few days into Shadowlands now and things are starting to get a little bit crazy. If you've been anywhere near the auction house, you'll be aware that some things are selling, some things are not selling. So what I wanted to do today is just put together a little bit of a heads up for you guys, give you guys some information on what's hot right now, what's really popping off, where there's a lot of gold to be made, and what's not so good right now. I see the same question being asked in my live stream, same two questions I should say being asked in my live stream all the time right now. Which profession should I look to pick up for crafting to make some gold with? And the other question is not so much a question, more of a statement of why is this material, why is X, Y or Z being sold for under crafting cost? So there's a lot of things going on right now. People are trying to obviously power level their professions. They're trying to get to the good stuff, which is usually at the top of the tree, and because of that we're finding some crazy things are happening. So let's try and clear up some of the clouds and the mist and try and set you guys on the right path of what's going to be a good thing to aim for this weekend and what may be something you may want to avoid, so that you don't come into too many issues. So we'll start off with what's hot. What's hot? Number one, Darkmoon cards. Yes, Darkmoon cards are still hot. You may see a dramatic price difference to what they were a couple of days ago. Let's just ever so very quickly, I know my realm is only one realm, your realms are likely going to differ, but for the purpose of like contrast, if I do a quick shopping scan on all the Darkmoon stuff, you'll see very quickly that the individual Darkmoon cards are now selling pretty cheap. I would imagine on your servers it may even be slightly worse than this. I've seen reports of a lot of people saying that the decks are now selling for like 15k. What are they meant to be doing? Well, you've got to remember that people went really hard with Darkmoon decks in the first couple of days. People made a whole bunch of profit really quickly in the first couple of days, and there's a lot of people now that are just trying to cash out. They made their 3-4 million gold on the first day. They made huge amounts of profit there, so they're now just trying to burn through the rest of their stock. They're just trying to get rid of it so that they can say that they're done. What this basically means is that a lot of the time it is kind of quite cheap, but it does mean there is still opportunities to be had with the Darkmoon cards. You don't even need to be a scribe. You could literally go to the auction house and pick up some of the cards of each deck, for example, put them together yourself and then list them for a complete deck. One thing that happens every single expansion launch is we have this sort of lull for a few days after the launch, and then we get to the first weekend. The first weekend of an expansion launch, the prices of everything rises, simply because people get to play the game more, people get to level their characters up. They may finally get to level 60 after a couple of days, because you've got to remember, a lot of people, they've been at work, they've been at school, maybe they've played a few hours in the evenings, but for the most the largest time for players is usually going to be at the weekends. That's where they've got most free time. That's where they're going to spend a lot of time, and they're going to run through the dungeons. They're going to get their characters leveled up. They may even level up some alts. It's not until the first weekend where the demand for a lot of these items really kicks into full gear. You got two kind of characters I tend to see in this sort of game. You've got the people that want it first and they'll pay anything to get it first, and then you've got people that want it at the right price. There tends to be two kind of people. The last few days, the amount of sales you will have seen on Darkmoon decks will have like slowly dropped, and so hence the prices have dropped as well. But expect to see a nice little boost at the weekend, and there's still lots of opportunities here. If there's enough inks and there's enough herbs on your server, consider getting into this. Go in with it with caution, don't over-invest too heavily, but there's definitely still some gold to be made with Darkmoon cards. So Darkmoon cards is definitely hot. What's one thing then? Let's switch it over. Let's take it to the other side. What is something right now that is not so hot? Yeah, something that is not so hot right now, and something that kind of looks attractive, but is maybe not a great idea, is the tailoring base legendary items. I've seen so many reports of people saying that people are selling the base, like rank 1s, even rank 2s and rank 3s. People are already trying to sell the base legendary items for tailoring, and they're selling them crazy, crazy cheap. I mean, look at this one dude, for example. He's posted the gloves for 8,000 gold. This is simply because cloth is just way too abundant. Our last video on the channel that you may have seen was all about a vendor cloth shuffle. With all of the 2x4 farming going on, with all of the leveling up of any characters, on top of the fact that each and every character can gather cloth, there's just way too much of it kicking about. People seem to find it quite amusing to tell me how much cloth is on their servers right now, and every day it's increasing by like literally hundreds of thousands. I think Kazakh EU, for example, had over 500,000 cloth after literally a few days. What this ultimately means is that the cloth is super cheap, the lightless silk is really cheap, people can level up tailoring virtually for free. Cheers, Scott. They can level up tailoring virtually for free. They're getting to be able to craft these base legendary items because they've hit level 60 now, and the competition is already crazy. Competition is just way too steep on the cloth tailoring stuff right now, but that's not to take away from the fact that legendaries are still a good seller right now. Absolutely. Blacksmiths are having a field day. Leatherworkers are having a field day. Wow, all of the subs are coming in. I really should have turned those notifications off. Jewel crafters are also having fun times with this right now. Of course, people cannot actually take their base legendary. They can't take it to the rune carver and turn it into an actual end game product yet. But that doesn't mean that people aren't trying to get ahead of the game. They're hitting 60. I've even seen people buying the base legendary items just so that they can have it in their bags and boost the item level. Some really weird things going on right now. I'd avoid tailoring, but the other ones are still looking pretty good. What else can we say? Let's go back. Let's switch it back over. Let's say what's hot right now. Okay, we're talking about legendaries. Let's continue the trends. Let's try and keep a pattern with this. If you're a skinner right now, you have an opportunity to make an awful lot of gold. Why? Because what they called heavy callus hides, I want to say. Where's leatherworking? Yes, the heavy callus hides on most servers are ridiculously priced. This is because they're very, very difficult to come by, even for a skinner. A skinner in a good spot with no competition and reasonably good gear is still struggling to get large quantities of the heavy callus hides, which is meaning their price on most servers is pretty high. It is not uncommon to see these things being listed for 1,000 gold plus right now. Some servers I've seen them go up as much as 5,000 gold each. Some servers have got them a bit cheaper, but that's going to be the case due to population. Realistically right now, leatherworkers are all over these. They are absolutely desperate to get their hands on them. And it's something that if you are a skinner right now or have a character that has skinning and you're looking to make a little bit of extra gold, skinning and going out and trying to get your hands on some of these is a really, really good way to make gold right now. Why is it that leatherworkers need so many? Well, they need it for the base legendary items, and they don't just need it once, they need it twice. Mainly because they need the heavy callus hide itself, so leatherworkers need a whole bunch of this. Not only then do they need a whole bunch of heavy callus hide, they also need the enchanted version. So they need to send some of it to their enchanter needs to do their magic with it, and then they need to get it back again. So it's actually double the amount that most people originally thought they would need of this stuff. And when to get anywhere with leatherworking, you need literally hundreds, if not in some cases thousands of heavy callus hide to really start focusing on the base legendary items. At these sort of prices, it's getting expensive, but that just means there's loads of opportunity to be made for skinners out there. So get on the heavy callus hide if you've got a skinner. You certainly won't regret it. What else can we say? I'll do the last what's hot. I'll do the last what's hot for this because it kind of ties into something that's kind of quite rare. The last thing we should really focus on, you may have seen this doing some crazy things over the last few days. Where is it? Here we go. Let's look at the enchanting materials. Your eternal crystals. If you check your auction house for eternal crystals right now, I would be very surprised if any of you can tell me that your eternal crystals are being listed for less than 5k. These things are super rare right now. Why are they super rare and what can we do about it? Well, they're super rare for one reason. There just isn't any epic items to disenchant. There are a few ways you can get epic items to potentially disenchant, but it's not repeatable, and that's why these are so expensive. We saw a huge surge of eternal crystals in the first day or so of the expansion. This was mainly because people were leveling their characters. They were zerging to 60 as fast as they possibly could, and when you do a quest, there is the chance that that quest reward will upgrade, and sometimes it will upgrade as far as an epic item. It's these epic items that people were disenchanting the first few days. They were throwing them up on the auction house because they were just like, well, it's an enchanting material, let's get what I can get for it. And they were listed for 500, 1,000 gold maybe. But the problem is, it's not a repeatable source, which has basically meant that the price of the eternal crystals over the last few days has just gone up and up and up and up and up. To the point where if you actually want to look at leveling enchanting right now, it gets very expensive. If you want to get enchanting to max right now, you need somewhere in the region of 20, I think it's 20 to 25 eternal crystals. At 7,500 gold a piece, that's getting really expensive really quickly, and to a lot of people that's just out of the realms of possibility. So you may find on your realm right now, there's only actually a handful of max level enchanters. Those guys are making a lot of gold. Those guys are making a lot of gold right now. But if you are still looking to level your enchanting, I apologise, it's going to be very, very expensive to do this. But why is this in the hot section? This is in the hot section because there's a great opportunity here. The opportunity is not necessarily in the crystals themselves, it's in what is made with these crystals. If you go and look at the enchants, there's a whole bunch of enchants at the moment that need crystals to be made. And people that are trying to level up their enchanting are having to craft some of these enchants. But there is really not much demand for enchants right now. The raid is still a week or so away. Mythic Plus is still a week or so away. The only real reason people are going to, for starters, a lot of people haven't even got to 60 yet. So they've not even thought about enchanting the gear. They've not got the gear to even enchant it. So the demand for enchants now is still really, really low. And you can see things like Eternal Insight, for example. This is a good one. Eternal Insight or Eternal Bulwark, for example, both of these take crystals to craft. And they're being sold for massively under crafting cost, like massively under crafting cost. If you've got a reasonable amount of gold, this is a good opportunity for an investment right now. Eternal Insight, for example, there's a bunch of them, sure. Don't feel the need to buy all of them, but I guarantee you in a week or two's time, when the raid does come out and the demand for enchants kicks in, buying them at this super cheap, massively under crafting cost price right now, you'll thank me later. I've bought a whole bunch of these up. I've bought a bunch of the insights. I've got 36 of these in total. The Eternal Bulwark, I've bought a bunch of these. I've got 53 of these in total. I've been buying them for like 200, 300, 400 gold a piece, knowing full well that in a couple of weeks' time I'll probably turn them into 3,000, 4,000 gold a piece. There's a great opportunity there. But when we're talking about enchants, this does bring me to the last what's not hot. What I would kind of steer away from right now is enchants as a general. Any enchants that don't use the crystals, so any enchants that just use dust and just use shards, are absolutely trashed in price already. There's the potential once again for maybe buying some of the really, really cheap ones out for a flip, but the reason these have already been crashed in price is because dust and shards are really easy to get. Why are they really easy to get? They're really easy to get because cloth is really easy to get. People have already figured out that if you get enough cloth and you get it at the right price, you can either craft some capes. There's even some what they call the shadow lace braces, I think it is. That is a rare item that you can craft for, on a lot of servers, less than 180 gold, and when disenchanted is likely to give you a whole bunch of shards and dust. So it kind of does mean, unfortunately, the basic enchants now, yeah, stay away from. It's kind of a weird one for enchanting that I would both recommend it and not recommend it at the same time. If you've already got it leveled up and you were lucky to get enough crystals at a cheap price, and you're able to get enchanting leveled up, it's well worth doing so. But if you haven't done it already, I would avoid it like the plague for the next few days. It's really not beneficial. But guys, I think I'm going to leave it there for this video. I didn't want it to go on too long. I just wanted to give you a heads up going into the first weekend of the expansion. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening on the auction house. I hope this helps you. Take some of these tips and take a look at the prices on your server and see if there's anything you can do with them. We're going to be streaming a whole bunch over the next few days as well. We've been streaming each and every day for the expansion launch, so I'd love for you to come and join in. We've had record numbers of people in the stream, so it's really good to see you all. Make sure you come along, say hi, and if nothing else, give this video a like and subscribe if this was helpful to you. Guys, I'll see you next time. Enjoy your weekend. Good luck goal making, and I'll see you next time. Peace!